Manchanda. I'm a public speaker and associated with SeekMed. SeekMed is a global telemedicine platform which connects the patient from around the globe to India's award-winning doctors through a video consultation. As you all know that we keep bringing our very senior experts and specialists to talk about the health problems and care so that our viewers and users are very well informed about everything related to healthcare. Today, we are going to talk about a very important topic, which is very common in India, that is varicose veins, and its treatments as well. But even though it's very common, but it's something that is not being talked about often. So we bring you today our topic that is state of the art, no stocking and no anesthesia treatment for varicose veins. And to enlighten all of us on this topic, we have with us a very highly renowned doctor, Dr. Saurabh Joshi, MD FNVIR, Neuro and Vascular Interventional Radiologist, and Principal Consultant at the Vein Center, Mumbai. So, a very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Rohini, for the kind introduction. Yes.
And I request you to please give a brief introduction about yourself, about your specialty and expertise, please.
Yes. So me and my team at the Vein Center, we are vascular intervention radiologists. That is, we are doctors who are trained in medical imaging and using the medical imaging to treat diseases in the least invasive manner. And here we are going to talk about one very common disease called varicose veins. This we treat without cutting, without stitching. We treat it internally through pinhole or needles. And we received 2 international awards for our innovations in treating that. And today we are going to talk about the current state of the art way of treating varicose veins. So that's about it. Let's get to know more about how to treat varicose veins.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Before starting our questions, I would like to inform all our viewers that this is a live webinar. And if there's anything that you want to ask the doctor or have any related query, please write to us on the comments and we will try to take up all the questions right away. So let's begin. Dr. Joshi, the first question is this, because no one knows about it very much. So what exactly are varicose veins and what are the symptoms of it?
Yes, I would love to show it to you. So, what we'll do is it's more of a visual disease. So let's see. And as we get to know it, let's also see what it looks like. So varicose veins are those bulging veins on people's legs, which we might have seen. These cause these big snake-like veins on the legs, which cause swelling and skin darkening. They also end up with causing wounds on the legs. These are called venous ulcers. Most patients present with the skin darkened stage where it is almost an ulcer, and they really don't know what is causing it. It is treated often like a skin disease, but very sadly, few people realize that this is a blood vessel disease which is causing symptoms on the skin. So these are real people with these snake-like veins and big bulging veins. The skin darkening which you see over here is actually bleeding that occurs underneath the skin, and that causes a progressive worsening of the skin, and that breaks out and causes a wound which doesn't heal. So what are varicose veins and why does it happen? Our veins have these one-way valves in them. So when we are breathing, we breathe in and we breathe out. The valves of the veins, they close and open, and push the legs towards the heart. The muscle contractions also help in this process. In varicose veins, what happens is these valves, they fail, and they're not able to pump the blood upwards against gravity very well. This causes blood to remain stagnated in the veins, and the veins become bigger and bigger, and over a period of time they start oozing blood from the walls of the veins and deposits under the skin. So this is how varicose veins occur, and what are the symptoms for our viewers to know. So the other common thing is, we see a lot of people with varicose veins, and the people who have to stand for a long period of time, like teachers or people in the hotel industry, or people who have a sedentary lifestyle, or those doing very excessive weight training are more likely to get varicose veins. Women with over 40 with 2 or more than 2 children are also more likely to get this condition. Previous leg surgeries like fractures or being immobilized for a long time or wearing a plaster cast for a long time are also a known risk factor for varicose veins. It is also hereditary. That is, if our parents or if our blood relatives are having it, there is a higher risk of the patient himself to get it. And also obesity is a known risk factor for varicose veins. So these are the people who are more likely to get this condition.
Right, so thank you so much, and that's a very useful information. But because people do not generally think that how can I get it or something like that. But I think there are a lot of things which people get, and for sure, teachers, for example, even my father, even he has it. Even I don't know if it's hereditary or what, but he also has it since I don't know since I've been born. I've been seeing
Mhm.
him having a little bit of varicose veins. But how is it really diagnosed? Like how do we diagnose
Yes.
varicose veins?
So it is, I'm going to get to that, but just to tell you, there are more than 10 million new cases of varicose veins a year in India. This disease is 10 times as common as cataract. Now, you know how many people have cataract? You must be knowing people who've had a cataract surgery, right? And
Right.
in India, if you just multiply that by 10, those many people are having varicose veins. So it is a very, very common condition. Just that, it doesn't get diagnosed very early. Because patients, there is patients don't know about it. They think that it is an age-related condition. Sabhi ko tha, mujhe bhi hoga. I don't know what need to do about it. And until recently, the treatment options were only these open surgeries or these non-proven methods, so didn't really work very well. So the patient confidence for treating was not that great. So why is varicose veins a big issue? Because varicose veins cause chronic leg ulcers, that is wounds on the legs which don't heal and which look something like this. I know this is really scary, but this is what we need to know. These are really well-educated people who didn't know that this is a blood vessel disease. It's really scary. I'm sorry to have scared you like that, but these are normal people like you and me are doing the dressing of their wounds for 10 years. It doesn't heal. They don't know that it is because of the vein not working. So this, and India is the capital of the venous ulcers in the world. India has the most number of venous ulcers anywhere in the world, and that is really sad, and we need to correct that. Just because we don't know what it is, it doesn't mean that we don't suffer. We really need to be more aware of this particular condition. So how is varicose veins diagnosed? The easiest way to diagnose varicose veins is doing a color Doppler ultrasound. Now this is like a sonography. If you know, if somebody has a sonography of the tummy, when if your stomach is hurting, you do a scan on the stomach and you know that there's an appendix or there's a stone in the kidney. Same way, we do a scan of the legs. We see those big bulging veins over there, and we do a Doppler where we see how blood is flowing in the veins, and we get to know if the valves are functioning properly or not. And at our center, at all our centers across Mumbai, we have 5 OPD locations in Mumbai, where our doctors do the scans themselves right there. So we get to know immediately whether you have it or not, and if you have it, then we can plan how to treat it. So that was basically how it is diagnosed. Yeah.
Right on the topic, sir. So how do we actually treat it? Like how are varicose veins treated if we ask this next question?
Yes, so varicose veins are treated in various ways. Now, I'm going to talk about only the proven ways of treating, like the surgical options and the non-invasive methods. The older ways of treating varicose veins were the open surgical ways, which were the ligation and stripping procedures, which used to give a scar on the leg. So if you see that the scar, it can be from removing the vein. Other than that, there were the burning procedures where we used to burn the vein using a laser. So you can see that red point over there.
Right.
That's a laser device which we are inserting inside the vein, and we burn the vein from the inside. But these procedures, they did cause pain and discomfort to a patient. It needed some sort of an anesthesia, and patients weren't really keen to do that. So these were the older ways of treating. uh, this is the steps of thermal ablation. That is how is a vein burnt from the inside. Now, what happened is, when we burn the vein, we need to give a lot of anesthesia and a local saline injection and all that. So it just increases the discomfort. But currently, the best way to treat varicose veins, the most comfortable way to treat varicose veins is something called vena seal. It is a non-thermal way of treating varicose veins. That means you don't have to burn the vein and you don't have to cut and remove the vein. The veins, instead of burning, are stuck from the inside. So this is a procedure called vena seal, and it doesn't require stockings. The cutting and the burning ways require patient to wear stockings because the burnt edges of the vein needs to be pressed with the compression or stockings. But in vena seal, we stick the veins instantly, so we don't need to we don't need to sort of apply pressure on it later on. And incidentally, we are currently the most number of venous seal procedures in all over South Asia. So how is it done? How is the and venous seal? Yes, this is my patients coined this term. Oh no stockings to no stockings. Because whenever I used to do the thermal ablation, the first thing was nay stockings. I don't want to wear stockings, do anything else, but I don't want to wear stockings. So this procedure actually patients went from the oh no stockings to like yeah no stockings. So that's the way to treat. And so I'm going to show our viewers how the procedure is done. It is an animation, and let's see uh, how the procedure is done.
Yes, sir.
So this is the venous seal device, and the glue. The bottle over here, it's a cyanoacrylate glue. It's like super glue which we inject inside the vein. This is a vein in which the catheter is guided. A catheter is a less than 1 millimeter diameter tube, which we guide all the way up inside the vein from the ankle up to the hip, and we leave a certain specific distance behind. Through that, a smaller catheter is introduced, and this is all done using ultrasound guidance. So we do a scan, and then we inject this medicine inside the vein. You can see those drops there. This is like drops of super glue injected inside the vein. And after that, we have to compress the vein for 3 minutes for the first part, and then 30 seconds for every 3 centimeters later. And the vein is stuck instantly. You don't have to wear stockings post procedure. There is no anesthesia because we are not burning it, and this is very safe for even the older patients with heart diseases, or those with taking blood thinners. So this is how we keep injecting just 0.1 ml of the medicine and then pressing it serially. This is how the vein gets stuck uh, over over the whole length. And all of this is done through one pinhole without actually cutting stitching. It is done through an IV line needle, just like the same needle which we put for, which we give saline to a patient from. A similar needle, through the inside of a similar needle, the same thing is done, and a small band-aid is put over it, and that's it. The procedure which earlier required 50 stitches or 100 needle pricks to prevent burning is now done through one IV line needle. So that's really revolutionary.
Wow, that is definitely revolutionary. I have also always seen before the treatment, because I know a lot of people who got it done, and they have a lot of stitches as well. But now how you showed it is that I think somebody just did blood and came back. It
Yes, yes. It hurts as much as giving blood for a blood test. So that's what my patients told me, that ye to mere, because they have to give blood twice, right? One is fasting and one post fasting for a sugar. But this is done in one stick, so it hurts lesser than giving blood for a blood test.
Wow, that is something very exciting. I think that is why I think these kind of things make us believe in science and advancement of technology. That that it makes us believe that yes, the future is coming, right? And there are days which are
yes, actually the future is right here, and it's right now, and
for sure.
It is.
Before asking you the other questions, we have one viewer with us who's asked us a question, so I would like to ask you. So he says that Mr. Venkatesh Dhage is asking, hello sir, my mom is using stockings since 8 years. Also she puts her feet in warm as well as cold water for 10 minutes each daily, but still it's not showing any results. We also tried taping as well. Please guide me.
Yes, so you see, we need to see your mom, and we need to do a color Doppler ultrasound to know whether she is a candidate for treatment or not. Wearing stockings is not a permanent way of curing. So what happens is, when you wear stockings, the diameter of the vein will reduce momentarily when the pressure is applied. But when you remove the stockings, the diameter will increase again. So it doesn't really give a permanent cure. Those patients who we can't do the treatment, or when there were only thermal procedures available, like the burning procedures, where older people weren't fit for anesthesia, so we couldn't do anything for them. That's when we used to give them just keep wearing stockings. But now this particular procedure is meant for those who are not otherwise fit for anesthesia, or they don't want to have such an invasive procedure. So it is actually safer for the older people to undergo such a procedure. Just perpetually wearing stockings is not really the answer, because I'm sure it must be very irritating to put it on every day and remove it every night with all the pressure and all that. But I think you should get a color Doppler ultrasound done and see someone who does the procedure, and maybe that'll help them get better.
But thank you so much for answering that. But on that note, you just mentioned that you have to see that what does she fall exactly on the category of getting the treatment done.
Yes.
Do we have any kind of a like category that
So what happens now? We have to know whether the patient is suffering concurrently from any clots in the veins. Okay. So when we do the ultrasound, not only do we confirm that you have varicose veins, we also rule out other diseases like a deep venous incompetence or a deep venous thrombosis, that is the clots inside the veins. So if such patients are having, in addition to varicose veins, you're also having deep venous incompetence or deep venous thrombosis, then you won't be a candidate for any type of superficial, either be it thermal or a non-thermal procedure. Then long-term stockings can be advocated. But, we need to do an ultrasound and need to know the investigations about the status of the veins before actually taking a decision up to what will your long-term care be like. Mhm.
Certainly. Thank you so much, sir, for answering that. And before that, of course, we established what is the difference between, Venasil and laser, and definitely Venasil is a much safer option for sure, as you
Yes.
showed, right? But sir, there are some large snake like zigzag varicose veins as well. How are they treated? Are those as
Yes.
well simple to
So
be treated
what
or
I'll
not?
do is, I am going to get to that. Let's see what is the difference between vena seal and laser.
Yes,
Now,
sir. Please.
laser is commonly known by almost all people who are suffering from varicose veins. They have been advised laser at some point of time, and either by choice or by compulsion, or any other reason, they may not want to undergo such a procedure that causes discomfort. So, what is really the difference between vena seal and laser? Now, for a person who already knows what is laser which is burning the vein, the difference in vena seal is instead of burning the vein, we stick the vein with adhesive. Now, there is something called as a local tumescent anesthesia. That means if you're doing laser, we give injections every 2-3 centimeters to surround the vein with a saline so that the burning or the heat doesn't reach the muscles or the skin, and we don't burn the normal tissues. But doing so from the ankle up to the hip, we would need easily 30 or 40 needle sticks and giving about 500 ml of saline. So that is not required in venous seal. Now, when we are doing laser or radio frequency ablation, because of the increased saline injection, so if we need to inject 500 ml of saline in the leg in patients with high BP or other heart conditions or kidney conditions, it would be difficult to introduce such a lot of fluid in the body, because then that would cause unnecessary pressure on the heart and kidneys. Vena seal, because we are not doing anything of that, it is very safe for such patients. The closure time for vena seal is instant, the 3-minute compression and it gets closed. While laser or radio frequency, they require at least 3 to 6 weeks of consistent compression with stockings for it to close even after the procedure. Vena seal doesn't require stockings, while laser or radio frequency, it is compulsory. And return to activity with vena seal is instant, while laser or radio frequency, it is going to take a few days for you to go back to work. I'm not even talking about the stripping or the ligation procedures, because those are now in the past. It's the comparison between a non-invasive thermal method and a non-invasive non-thermal method. So that's basically that. And uh, then we can, now see the straight veins can be treated by either vena seal or laser. But what
Right.
happens to the zigzag veins? The question
Zigzag.
which
Yes,
was
sir.
there. So these particular veins which we're seeing on the screen right now, they are so zigzag that they wouldn't allow a device to be placed inside it. Okay.
Of
It
course.
is like if you have a train, then you can't drive a train in a ghat, right? It won't take those turns. Same way,
Right.
this particular patient here, which we are seeing, there is no way any particular device will be inside the vein all this while, because it's too zigzag. Okay.
Right.
And this question was plagued a lot of doctors before, what to do about this. So what we used to offer before was doing the straight veins by either laser or vena seal, and trying to inject a medicine in that or remove the vein surgically. Okay. But on evolving and knowing how to treat it, we actually developed a technique which is called the plug and foam technique, where we mix make these segments of these particular veins by injecting a glue in a particular segment, and in that closed segment we inject a medicine called as sclerosing agent. The most common one is sodium tetradecyl sulfate, which sort of inflames that particular segment and closes it. So the picture which you're seeing over here is a 7-day difference. The first one is the day of the procedure, and this one over here is 7 days after the procedure. And we developed this technique and sent it for the Venatus Committee Zurich, for consideration for the award. And I was so surprised to win the 2018-19, Venatus Innovation Award for developing this particular technique. So this is from Zurich, Switzerland.
Wow, that's beautiful, sir. Many, many congratulations for that. And actually, that's a great achievement, sir.
Yes. So this is actually how we do that for these zigzag veins. I'll just show it to you. So
Sure,
what happens is, previously there was with the previous only the sclerosing agent injection methods, the medicine would be injected on one side, but it used to be washed out from the other side. So the medicine didn't actually stay inside. Okay. So it's like, you're injecting water. If you start water in the pipe, it comes out to the other end, right?
Other end.
The water doesn't stay in the pipe. Okay. Same way. Now what we solved over here is we put a plug on the other end. The white thing is a glue plug. So it is a medicine which we inject, it hardens and closes it over there. And then from the other end, we inject a sclerosing agent. So it's like a pipe which you close the other end, and then you turn water on from one side. So the water stays inside, right? So then the medicine stays inside the vein longer and helps close the vein, more consistently. So this is how it is. The blue one over here on top, which we are seeing, is placing a glue plug. That is at the exit point, we inject this, the medicine which hardens and closes the veins right there. So you can see that, on top of the ultrasound screen, which is closed. And from the bottom side, the white thing which you're seeing floating around is the sclerosing agent. So it then stays there inside the vein without flowing away. And what happens, why is this required, is when you inject this particular white medicine inside, it works only for 60 seconds. Once it comes in contact with new fresh blood, it gets deactivated. That's why when it is in a flowing blood, when you're injecting it, it will not cure the vein because it will flow away. Okay. And once we close from one side and then inject, there's no new blood coming in, and that's why it stays inside longer and sort of treats the vein. So this is actually how it looks like. This is almost, immediately afterwards, the vein is actually gone within 7 days.
So are you like saying, for example, for the flat veins, and Venasil is the same procedure for large snake veins and for the straight veins, but just using the plug placing, I think we've managed to do that, right?
Yes. So these, like for this patient, the Venasil will not go through the zigzag veins. So then even if you just did Venasil or laser or any other procedure, there was no way to actually treat this other than removing it and stitching it up. But now, because of the plug and foam, we could plug it at one end and inject the other medicine through, and then that stays inside longer, doesn't get deactivated. And so it's like, you can see November 13 morning is this way before the procedure, and immediately after the procedure. Now here there is another invention. One of my mentors in Berlin, Dr. Chris Ragg, he invented a technique called biofilm compression. So this is becoming, you're seeing this completely disappear because after the plug and foam, we've applied this transparent film compression over it. So this behaves like a stocking, but you can swim over it and it allows the skin to breathe. So if you look very carefully, you can see some folds over here. So that's actually compressed with the biofilm, and that's why it has disappeared. And over a period, it stays on for 7 days and it disappears after that. So there's a lot of advancements.
You don't even have to take it out; it just disappears.
It disappears. So that is so these are like many such innovations are there in phlebology, and it is really very satisfying to be able to apply that to our patients here in India.
Wow, I must say, sir, that is an excellent achievement. I think it's such a smart move, and I think India and even the world, I think, is dependent on the innovators like you. And your friend doctor from Berlin for sure. So that's really beautiful move actually, and you couldn't even see it was like film or something like that. It's not even visible on the
Yes.
picture here.
Yes.
That's beautiful. I must say it's a very smart achievement, sir.
Yeah. Thank
But
you.
okay, so when we talk about the treatment, but after, what about the after the treatment? You know, like when it's treated with the Venasil or with the form, does it come back? Does it, you know, do the varicose vein keep coming back or what?
So, so varicose veins, you know, the nature of the disease needs to be understood.
Mhm.
Varicose veins, it's something like farming, you know. It is a continuous sort of a process where our body tries to make newer veins if the risk factors tend to exist at the same way. Like we know that standing for long periods of time or obesity or smoking, these are the known risk factors for blood vessel diseases. After the treatment, we need to follow up the patient regularly. Like I told you, you know, we do a scan and check. So all our patients get a follow-up schedule where we do a scan 7 days after the procedure, at 2 months, 6 months, and once a year, just to make sure that everything is all right. So it's
Mhm.
like if you are you know tending to your garden, right? If you take out the weeds one day, and if you don't even look at your garden for a week or 2 weeks, there will be more weeds coming around, right? Because you can't stop them, you just need to tend it. But the process of developing new veins is very slow. It doesn't mean that you need a procedure every week or every 10 days. If the patient is very young when we do the procedure, then we would expect them to need some sort of a sclerotherapy or an injection later on in life. But to know to whether you really need it or not, and what is the status of the veins, we call our patients for regular follow-ups. That is, we see them at regular intervals. We do a scan at every time, so we come to know what is the status from the inside. That actually was one of our award-winning papers for the College of Phlebology in London in 2018, treating recurrent veins in South Asians, and finding out the reasons why varicose veins comes back, and how do we treat, or how do we know about this recurrence. So the follow-up protocol is designed after we had that study of recurrent varicose veins, and this won the London's award. So you know, so,
I must say, I actually had no idea about this. This is something very that's something great, sir. Many congratulations for that as well. I think we do need a lot of doctors like you for sure, who keep researching a lot of things. And I think this is something, and it's very much required, you know, in terms of like the kind of people we have and the kind of diseases we go through. And I think that's a great innovation that you've actually achieved. Beautiful.
thank you,
Yes, sir.
thank you. So.
On that note, actually, we do have another question from one of our viewers. So, Mr. Nitish Patkar, he says that my age is 32 and I have varicose veins from 6 years, from past 6 years. I wanted to know, if we do Venasil treatment, are there any chances of getting it back again, or are there any exercises needed later?
Yes. So, see, when we do the treatment from any particular way, be it Venasil or laser or radio frequency, you need to have a regular follow-up. First of all, before treating, the person who's going to operate on you needs to do the ultrasound themselves to actually have a mental map of which veins are where, and so that they can treat all the veins at the same time. And that is actually a prerequisite of doing the scan yourself. Once you do that and you plan the procedure well and you execute it well, then there is a question of doing a regular follow-up scans at intervals as decided. Once once we have treated everything that is there, and then we do a regular scan. If you stay away from the risk factors, if a generally healthy lifestyle, don't smoke, lose weight, and do some calf muscle strengthening exercises every day, usually it won't come back. But we would still call you for regular follow-ups to do a scan and just check. As you are only 32, there is a chance sometime in life that some new veins might develop, but they will not need the whole procedure again to treat. It would just be a office procedure like sclerotherapy or something if they do come back anytime later.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. And I think we've answered your question, Mr. Patka. So as you talked about how is recurrence treated or prevented because of the innovation as well that you did for London. And so can you show us some patient stories or about healing, from varicose veins before or after case
Oh,
studies? Is
yes,
yes, sure.
definitely. This is very interesting, and it is very satisfying to when you're helping patients, especially those who have coexisting diseases where you can't offer them any other treatment and who are suffering for a long time. So uh, one of these is this kind of a very big zigzag veins. This is an immediate post-op picture where the zigzag veins have been treated by vena seal, sclerotherapy, and application of the biofilm. And this is how it looks like in 45 minutes. Yeah. So this one is one of my latest. Actually, this is last week's patient. When so this gentleman had this constant pain in the calves, and you can see those zigzag veins over there, and they always used to become big. And this uncle, he's about 65 years old, if I remember correctly, and uh, having this constant discomfort in the legs, and he did not want to have any procedure that wanted to he should be undergoing anesthesia for that. So we did a vena seal procedure for the straight veins, and a plug and foam and a biofilm procedure for the zigzag veins. And it is at 9 o'clock in the morning where you can see those veins there, and 10:30 in the morning they're gone. So this is like, and so is the pain and discomfort gone along with it. So it is very satisfying to be able to deliver results like this. This is another one, a very close to my heart. This elderly lady, she was a patient of mine. I've been seeing her for the past more than a year now. But before the advent of vena seal, I couldn't offer the laser or the thermal procedure to her because she's had a heart procedure. She has to take blood thinners, this INR 3. That means her blood thinners make her blood 3 times more thinner as compared to a normal person. So for such a person, if you do a lot of needle pricks, or if you do an open surgical procedure, she would not be fit for anesthesia. Other than that, her heart condition also makes her a very risky candidate if you want to make her unconscious and wake her up. So over here for her, we did this the vena seal procedure with just one prick or two pricks, and we can see this is a result within 7 days, and this is so satisfying. You can see that day 0, before the procedure, it has that sort of
Right.
wound on the leg which keeps on burning and bleeding all the time, heals and again gets bad. And within 7 days we see that the skin has become healthy. And so this kind of procedure for such a patient, where there is no other option, it is very satisfying to do. Because for a young patient, you might put them under anesthesia and do an invasive procedure. But for someone like this who suffered for such a long time, where you can give a result like that with just 1 or 2 pricks with no bleeding, and she walked in and walked off the same day, it is very satisfying indeed. Again, this is a gentleman with very large dilated veins. If you can see on the morning of the procedure, there is a red hue on the skin. It looks like it's red and sort of inflamed. Immediately after the procedure, we see that red, this thing is gone. It's more like the engorgement of the veins, the bleeding that happens in the veins. It stops. So it disappeared in 3 hours. Again, this is a elderly diabetic patient who we couldn't offer anything because of high sugars, no anesthesia, also having high blood pressure, so we can't do the give the lot of the pricks for the laser. And within 7 days, we see that the skin has become lighter, the swelling is reduced, and it is a satisfying result for us. Again, this gentleman is big bulging veins. So 45 minutes before and after vena seal, and they disappear. And such people, they have almost never seen, they don't remember how a normal leg looks like. मुझे 15 साल से पैर पे ऐसे सूजी हुई veins हैं. I have never seen. So there are people who tell my wife has never seen normal legs of mine. मैं शादी के बाद ऐसे ही थे. So, but then if you give that in 45 minutes, it's like they're seeing their legs as it should be for the first time after years and years.
Wow.
Again,
But that's
Venus,
even I mean, for someone who's not never seen a normal leg, that's revolutionary.
yes,
That get that
yes,
normal leg within
yes,
45 minutes, and that
yes,
within one day he can go back home.
yes.
That's
So
really good.
that's actually very very satisfying. And this is actually again a very special case. This is one which triggered us to write the paper on recurrent varicose veins. So this gentleman is a teacher from Ratnagiri, who had this wound on the leg for years and years, and he's had the open surgical procedure and the laser procedure for the front veins. But there is another veins that goes from the back. It is called the short saphenous vein, and well, it didn't close. So when he came to us, he was like virtually, "Main just cut my leg off, it hurts so much, and it doesn't really heal." So this is before the procedure, before our procedure, and after his series of procedures before. So we found out that there were veins because we do our scans ourselves. We found that there were veins on the backside, which we treated, and once we treated it, 2 months later, we see that it is significantly reduced, and within 6 months, it is completely gone. So that again is very special indeed, where you are able to help such people, and this is what triggered the need to research on the recurrence part of varicose veins, why it comes again and again. And so this gentleman are treated by laser, by the way. This is more to show the recurrence of varicose veins, but whichever way you treat it, you need to treat all of them. That is what is the the inference of it. So
Totally.
that's basically our thing of about varicose veins. If there are any more questions, Rohini, you can please ask me from our viewers.
First of all, thank you so very much, sir, for sharing all these cases. I think I can definitely, I won't be able to, of course, express it, and I might not get it right, but I can feel the satisfaction on your face when you talk about it, the kind of satisfying it gets, because when you
Yes.
see your patients and you're working, since you tell us that, that you've been working on all these for the recurrent varicose veins and all these,
Mhm.
Venacil treatment, I think that worked out really well for you and for other people as well. So many congratulations, and I'm really happy that you did this. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
And but the last question I'd like to ask you is this, sir, that when is the right time that person needs to know that, that this is the right time I need to go see a doctor? Probably because of it could be because of the hereditary varicose veins. It could be because of the
Mhm.
hereditary, or some people don't even have, the kind of large, veins, or they might not even feel the pain of it as well. So when is the right time for people to
So
understand?
one of the earliest signs of varicose veins is the calf cramps, especially night cramps. Even if you don't see any veins on the legs, the stagnation of blood in the calves causes the patient to get cramps in the calves if you stand for a long time, or especially women, during the time when they're having their periods, they tend to complain that the legs hurt a lot. That is when the veins, that is one of the earliest signs of varicose veins without even having to see those big veins on the legs. So if you get that, and especially if you have a hereditary history of your parents having it, then you should get it checked out. Now in India, we still want to see the older people, the 30 years and up, but my colleagues in Europe, they actually screen 7-year-old children of people with varicose veins. And there are vein valve remodeling procedures which can be done in the West, in younger, even in children and not even in adults, that prevents this whole thing from happening. But we are still a long way off for that to happen in India. But uh, if we think that we are uh, you know if we think that we can find it early, then it would be if you're getting cramps on the legs, or those kind of things.
Great, sir. Thank you so much for thank you so much for all this
Thank
information and all your time. And mainly, we really appreciate your time, because we definitely know how valuable your time is. And I'm definitely, it's unbelievable, and it's unbelievable to hear all these achievements that you have done. And it's really nice. It's really satisfying to even hear that that doctors like you are working on some such projects that is working well, really well for the people here in India and all over the world for sure. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Rohini, and thank you, Sigmed. Thank you for your
But
time.
before ending this, sir, I would request you to please give out a small message to our viewers if you have any.
Yes, I would say, be aware of varicose veins. If you have elderly people in the house who are having these wounds on the leg which don't heal, please do consider this, that it can be because of varicose veins, even if they don't see varicose veins on the leg, and ask your doctor specifically because if it can be varicose veins or not, because this is a major cause of suffering amongst the elderly, wounds that don't heal. And please do know that this can be from a blood vessel cause as well.
Great, sir. Thank you so much for your message. And thank you so much all. And I hope that we managed to answer all the queries and the whole session could help you in any way. In the end, I would like to thank SeekMed, a telemedicine platform helping patients community through video consultation and connecting them with our award-winning doctors of national and international repute for all over the world. And we promised that we would keep coming back on a webinar with new and much needed topics to answer your queries by our senior experts. So stay tuned. Thank you so much once again. And please like, follow our SeekMed page for healthcare updates and download the app for a video consult with the doctors now. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.